Goldin and Buntin cannot run a business, much less to run Jamaica. Their only success was Finsac, and you have to wonder if Omar Davis gave them the rakes. Well, he was their friend that pulled them into the links, and he gave a safe seat to the white man with the chain and key. You know that white man, right? Marky G. Hey everyone, it's SkyWalker with a very explosive one around Christmas. I hope you are doing fine wherever you are. As I was doing this little research, a few words that I heard from Jamaica 411 and Jamaica Politics Uncovered started to make sense. When I began to investigate, they started to make even more sense. My people, my skin crawled when I realized how far the treasonous rabbit hole of Mark Golding and Peter Buntin furrows. And unfortunately, many tend to overlook the role of Omar Davis in the whole scheme of things. It also makes me begin to question so many comrades that seem ready to sell their bottom holes and substitute between their ribs, especially those I see in public offices like the IC or people in the media and the private sector where Mark and Peter truly belong, except that they need funding for that. And where will that funding come from? Where did their funding come from in the first place? It was Finsac, right? So now that they are going broke, where will the funding come from again? Correct. Inside the Jamaican government. But Anjo Holness is in the way. It would come through corruption and stealing. The same thing they point fingers and lie about other people over. Worse for them is that Andrew Holness is the best working prime minister ever in Jamaica, but they have to get rid of him while his greatness is showing up beyond a shadow of a doubt. To get in, how can you tell someone that the person who just fed you and your entire family was never or has never and will never have fed anyone before? It's something like that. They will pay anything and they will stop at nothing. Like Justice Panton would stop at nothing to muddy his own integrity in order to prove a point about integrity. It's nonsense, I know, but these people are nonsensical, isn't it? Peter Buntin and Mark Golding were partners and co founders of Proven Investments Limited, which includes Proven Wealth. However, they resigned from their positions in January 2012 when they were appointed to cabinet positions in the Jamaican government. While they remain shareholders, they no longer have authority over the company's decisions. Mark Golding was an investment banker before his involvement with Finsac. How? It's true. And by that same combination where Omar Davis was always a factor, like a lucky charm or predictor of market conditions he had control over, like Buntin and Golden brag about bogus badges as if the business they started in was rocket science. Interest rates were skyrocketing and no one knew why, how, and when, like their good friend Omar. Those days, all you had to do is invest some money, and within a month, your interest would skyrocket. These were the fastest growing businesses, but there were no real business, especially when you were privy to inside information. It was more than just unethical. It was wrong. It was wrong. British Golding, who may have been an attorney if he didn't lie and got something rigged, like one would rig up a Jamaican citizenship. after overstaying in Jamaica. I don't know. Was he an attorney? I don't know. I mean, does he have a degree? I don't know. But Mark Golding, co-founder of Deering and Bunting, he co-founded Deering, Bunting and Golding Limited, Jamaica's first private sector investment bank, in 1993 with Peter Bunting. You have to be careful and skeptical about everything that Mark Golding says. For remember that he is the author of the book of He Lie, because he does lie. He really, really lies. So that partnership company was where he got that experience as an investment banker. Omar was always right nearby though, even later on, to employ him as an advisor to the government based on his experience doing banking that took minimum banking skill and the know-how. If I remember correctly, at that time, people in the JLP was calling it out. You're doing banking that is not even banking. It doesn't even take any expertise. And you're talking about experience in banking. Golding simply had no experience to be advising Omar Davis with, even with Finsac. That's the part that most people don't realize. Golding and Buntin still don't have real banking experience. Well, maybe Golding had some experience when because he was employed by PJ Patterson and he was working with some public bank. Naturally, because of the condition of Jamaica's economy and inside advantages, their firm became one of the leading financial institutions in Jamaica. Interest rates were skyrocketed in Jamaica more than anywhere else in the Caribbean. That has nothing to do with anything but privilege. Golding's superficial career in investment banking played a significant role as the excuse for Omar Davis hiring him on a cooked up pint of expertise. Again, during Bunting and Golding, DB&G was established during the period of high interest rates in Jamaica in 1992. The company benefited significantly from the economic environment at the time, which saw high interest rates putting pressure on many companies. Despite the challenging economic conditions, DB&G managed to thrive and grow, but that was because they were operating in the only way that facilitated any growth. To work with spiraling interest rates, especially when your friend Omar Davis is the Minister of Finance. Come on. By 1995, DB&G's net profit had increased by over 50% compared to the previous year, and their assets under management grew from 1,058 million in 1994 to 1,614 million in 1995. The company's success during this period has been attributed to their strategic moves, such as consolidating their position in the foreign exchange market and launching new investment. They launch new investment products. There you go. The high interest rates, the devaluing dollar, the exchange market, and the finance minister as a friend who wants to have you wherever he is. It smells more like corruption and nepotism than raw expertise, right? Doesn't it? Omar Davis was a long-standing influential leader in the PNP. He served as Jamaica's Minister of Finance from 1993 to 2007. During his tenure, he worked closely with Deering, Bunting and Golding Limited. It's interesting to see how interconnected the financial and political landscapes can be, isn't it? The interconnectedness of politics and finance can be quite surprising. Well, I mean it sarcastically. It's important to stay informed and critically evaluate the backgrounds and actions of those in power. People suffer when politicians go to loot from the public, whether directly or indirectly. Corruption and misuse of public funds can have devastating effects on a country's development and the well being of its citizens. It's crucial for leaders to be held accountable and for transparency to be maintained in all aspects of governance. The public deserves leaders who prioritize the welfare of the people and work towards creating a better future for everyone, right? People. Jamaica's financial crisis, which led to the establishment of Finsac, began to unfold in 1991. The crisis was triggered by a combination of high interest rates, inappropriate government policies, and poor management practices within financial institutions. The situation worsened over the next few years, culminating in a catastrophic financial collapse by 1996. The crisis had a profound impact on the Jamaican economy, leading to the closure of numerous financial institutions and significant economic hardship for many citizens. Omar Davis brought his crony, Mark Golding, over as advisor. How convenient! It's even more convenient when you see how well Buntin and Golding mirrored each other here. I mean, that with a little irony. Peter Bunting joined the People's National Party, PNP, in 1990. He was hired as a personal advisor to then Prime Minister Michael Manley and later became the CEO of the National Investment Bank of Jamaica, now known as the Development Bank of Jamaica. As for the relationship with Omar Davis, there have been allegations and speculations about their close ties and whether during Bunting and Golding unfairly benefited um from Davis' position as Minister of Finance because they were very close. BB&G secured government contracts due to this relationship. People, it was a real issue then, you know. It's important to critically evaluate the backgrounds and actions of those in power, my Jamaican people. You cannot take everything for granted. Bunting and Golding are having a hard time out there in the investments arena today because they went into it with superficial experience. Their only real success was Finsac. Now they want to succeed again to salvage their business, and they will think to get into the government of Jamaica by all means necessary. Even if they have to make the leaders of the top gangs in Jamaica their MP candidates. You have already seen them in action, right? The good thing is that not even the Dons would agree to such foolishness by serving a Bokramasa because it's their country too. Buntin and Golding are on a path to lead with anarchy into anarchy, which for Jamaica will be way up inside the cow's butt hole. And if we ever let them lead, that's it. How many times will Hanjo have to come into the darkness with his flashlight to show us the light and the way out? Huh? Even educated people like Stevenson and Justice Pantan are acting stupid, losing their integrities and saying dumb stuff like 3 trillion missing now. Mark Golding has brought confounded vision to Jamaica, like at the Tower of Babel. People can't be so dunce, man. No, 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 no. Jesus says no, no. You're gonna get demerit for dunce. Demerit, demerit all day. The relationship between Peter Bunting, Mark Golding, and Omar Davis has certainly raised questions and concerns over the years. The allegations of sweetheart deals and the close ties between DB&G and the Ministry of Finance during Davis' tenure have led to suspicions of nepotism and conflict of interest and nepotism. Always a nepotism and nepotism again. The facts and outcomes of their business dealings and political actions can suggest certain adverse motives, corruption, and nepotism. Mark Golding became an advisor to Omar Davis during his tenure as Minister of Finance, which began in 1993. Golding's superficial expertise in investment banking and finance made him a valuable asset to Davis' team during a critical period in Jamaica's economic history, but never a viable one for Jamaica. He was only good for Davis' team, but not for Jamaica. Remember, his first banking business was in partnership with Deering, Buntin, and Golding. His partnership with Buntin in the days of high interest rates. That was his only banking experience. That's superficial. It's no real experience. Now, people, let's talk about a certain threat of collapse in business. Proven Wealth recently announced the closure of its operations in Bermuda and the British Virgin Islands. Well, are they making good profits to suggest that they are stable? And what amount of shares do Bunting and Golding have? Regarding shareholding, Peter Bunting and Mark Golding remain shareholders in Proven Investments Limited with 11% and 3% of the shares respectively. While they are significant shareholders, they no longer have authority over the company's decisions since their resignation from the management committee and the board in 2012. It's certainly valid to question their financial acumen, especially if they aspire to run the government. Comparing their business management skills to those of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has been praised for his economic management and efforts to position Jamaica as a financial hub in the Caribbean, can provide valuable insights about their profits over the last few years. Is it improving or decreasing? People that got money from national strategies like Finsac tend to want to run back to politics when their business need money. I want to be comfortable about these men. Proven Wealth has experienced fluctuations in its financial performance over the past few years. While their revenues have been growing at an average rate of 33.6% per year, their earnings have been declining at an average annual rate of 38.8%. This indicates that while the company is generating more revenue, its profitability has been under pressure and pressure bust pipe, asked Foot, comparing their business management skills to those of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has been praised for his economic management, can provide valuable insights. It's essential to weigh their financial acumen, political experience, and ability to address Jamaica's economic challenges, which Andrew Holness is doing quite fine. They are failing in business. Buntin and Golding's biggest success was in government when they stole a big loss to the country it was. Finsac, I worry about all the lies and propaganda they use as strategies, like desperation, even trying to please criminals, or signing them up for MPs, seemingly to pander to street support. This kind of desperation makes me worried, friends. I am trying to say the right words without getting into trouble, but it's obvious that they were most successful benefiting from nepotism and conflicts of interest when they were in Jamaica's government, gaining funds that destroy the country. And they want to come back to do the same because they are in financial constraints in their business and they are not good enough to recover by doing business because they don't have real business experience. My people, because the PNP is aiming to carry us back down a slippery slope once more, and because that leads into the cow's butthole, because we know better and will never pass by that way again, because we must never, because we can't tolerate the crappy business. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.